Welcome to Mojoyminds.
Have you ever wondered why religious horror movies scare us in a way that slasher films or sci-fi monsters never can? Welcome back to Mojoyminds, where we pull back the curtain on entertainment to find the deeper psychological truths hidden underneath. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, like the video, and share it with a friend. Today, I will be exploring the ultimate battleground of the human mind, the intersection of faith, fear, and human conditioning. We are putting two massive horror films side by side to see what is really going on beneath the surface. I'm looking at the gothic nightmare, The Nun, and the intense psychological meta horror, The Exorcism. On the outside, these are just intense popcorn movies meant to make you jump out of your seat. One follows a demonic force terrorizing an isolated convent, and the other follows an actor losing his mind while filming a scary movie. But if we look past the jump scares, these movies are doing something much deeper. They are exploring how human beings are mentally conditioned by guilt, trauma, and institutional power. So let me start with The Nun. The movie takes place in a dark, ancient abbey, cut off from the rest of the world. The horror comes from a demonic entity named Falak, who takes the shape of a holy nun. But what is the hidden message here? The movie is playing on the concept of institutional conditioning. For centuries, religious institutions have presented safety, purity, and ultimate authority. But by turning the symbol of a nun into a nightmare, the movie exposes a deep subconscious human fear. The fear that the very institutions we trust to protect our souls might actually be harboring darkness. It forces the audience to confront the idea of blind obedience and how isolation can make a mind incredibly vulnerable to fear and control. Now, let's look at the movie The Exorcism. This film takes a completely different, modern approach to the exact same theme. It follows an actor, played by Russell Crowe, who starts unraveling while shooting a horror movie about a possession. The brilliance of this movie is that it blurs the line between supernatural evil and deeply rooted human trauma. The main character is dealing with past abuse, addiction, and massive guilt. As the movie progresses, you're forced to ask a massive question. Is he really being possessed by a demon, or is his suppressed trauma exploding to the surface because he's being forced to relive it on a movie set? The movie shows us how a fractured mind can completely lose its grip on reality when pushed past its limits by stress and unresolved pain. This brings me to the core debate of the channel. Are these stories just spooky fictions, or is there a layer of predictive programming and mental conditioning at play? Some theorists believe that religious horror movies are used as a form of emotional conditioning. By constantly associating sacred symbols, ancient rituals, and spiritual topics with extreme terror, it programs a subconscious message that the spiritual realm is a place of danger, keeping the public tightly bound to logic, materialism, and modern control systems. But when we look at the psychological truth behind the stories, we find something even more profound about human nature. Human beings are deeply conditioned by our environment and our beliefs. When a person experiences extreme trauma, their brain often looks for a framework to explain the pain. For centuries, that framework was spiritual warfare. The Exorcism perfectly highlights this by showing that mental illness, addiction, and severe emotional breakdown can look exactly like a supernatural battle. We condition ourselves to project our internal darkness outward because facing a demon in the dark feels easier than facing the broken pieces of our own psyche. Now, in my opinion, these movies are powerful because they show just how easily the human mind can be programmed by guilt and fear. From the time we are children, we are conditioned by society, religion, and family to feel guilty for our mistakes. Movies like The Nun and The Exorcism take that deeply ingrained guilt and give it a physical face. They remind us that the most dangerous conditioning is the one that happens silently inside us, where we allow our past traumas and fears to dictate how we see reality. The real truth behind these stories is that our minds are incredibly fragile and our beliefs shape our biology. If you condition a mind to believe it is unworthy, dirty, or under attack, it will eventually manifest that horror in real life, whether through a mental breakdown or a spiritual crisis. So let me leave you with some food for thought today. Think about the boundaries of your own mind. How much of what you believe about right, wrong, fear, and guilt was actually chosen by you? And how much of this was programmed into you by the traditions and stories you grew up with? Are you the master of your own spirit? Or are you running on ancient programming? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to keep expanding your mind and looking past the feel of ordinary life, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with someone who loves to think deep. And as always, keep your mind sharp and your eyes wide open.